everyone. I'm the Peculiar Pisces, and welcome to my channel. Today is Monday, April 28th, 2025. I'm back with another update on my weekly cross stitch. Before I get into it, I just want to say that my mom's birthday is tomorrow, so I wanted to say happy birthday to my mom. I don't know if she's going to see this today or if she's going to see this tomorrow. I will, of course, text her to say happy birthday, but I just wanted to say happy birthday to my mom if she happens to be watching today. Okay, so let's get right into it. So the first thing is I have had no stitchy mail. I didn't go out and buy anything. I didn't, order anything. So yay for me. The next thing is I found my notebooks. They were downstairs while my mom had been visiting. I was like Stuart from Mad TV, and I kept going, look what I can do, look what I can do. And I kept bringing everything to show my mom. And so I had brought all the pile of books from downstairs, the books that I had made, up to show her. And somehow these got grabbed when I took them back downstairs. So I do have my notebooks now, and I can give you my time stats on all the things as I go through them. So let's get into it. Project number 1 is favorite designer for me, and that consists of Teresa Wentzler, Nora Corbett, Bella Filipina, and Lavender and Lace. Last year, I did complete a Teresa Wentzler. I worked on it all year long. Last year, if you did not watch any of my Flosstube videos last year I worked on 4 projects and 4 projects only, and I worked on them all year long. And the only one that I finished last year was the Teresa Wentzler. So this year, I started alternating so that I'm working on more projects, but each month is a specific 4 projects that I'm working on. So for the month of April, I am back to a Teresa Wentzler again. Last year, this year for the month of April, it feels like a throwback to last year because the other 3 projects that I'm working on besides this Teresa Wentzler that I started are the 3 projects that I maintained all of last year, and I still haven't finished any of them. So this year I am working on the Woodland Faerie by Teresa Wentzler. It is very intricate. Very, very intricate. So this is, the fabric is from Fabric Flair, and it is called, what did I say it's called? Flower Champagne. And this is 28 count, so it's 2/2 primarily. So Teresa Wentzler's, as I'm working on them, are I'm stitching and I have no idea what I'm stitching on. And I'll put in like an hour, 2 hours, and then it's not until I look at the whole thing and I go, oh, I know what that is. Now I know where I'm at. But this is where I've been. I've been working on these leaves, starting at the bottom of this. I don't know if this is a pitcher plant or a lady slipper. And then I filled in her hair. I will do the skin later because that is charted 1/1 as opposed to 2/2 like the rest of the design is. And I have noticed that in my particular copy, let me see, does this say? The copyright date on this is 2002. I have run into a symbol that's in this lady slipper. So on my chart, one of the colors is the infinity sign as you would normally see it. And then also in this lady slipper pitcher plant, whatever it is, there's like two dots, like the dots that are in a time, like 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, the two dots. I don't know what this is called. I want to say a semicolon, but I don't think a semicolon is right. I think the semicolon is the dot with the comma underneath of it. So the two dots, so it's got the infinity symbol where it normally is on its side. It's got two dots and it's got a blank square. Well, this missing stitch right here is the infinity symbol, but it's up on its end, more like a figure eight. Now there is a symbol of a figure eight on the key, but it's a completely different color than what goes here. And judging by the picture, it should be, because it's this one right here. So judging by this picture, it should be a pink tone as opposed to whatever brown blend the number 8 is. So I'm wondering if it's the infinity symbol, whatever color that is, or if it's supposed to be the colon or semicolon, whatever it is. Is it just a colon? Colon? I'm going to call it a colon now. I don't know if it's the colon color, since that's, you know, I don't know. And everything that I can find online doesn't mention that issue in the errors. And there was also another symbol that was an F with the Pac-Man symbol, the bracket, I'm going to call it the Pac-Man. It's the Pac-Man symbol going this way, and for some reason it had the F and the Pac-Man superimposed on each other, and there were Fs around, and there were also Pac-Mans around, so I was like, this could go either way, and so I chose one of the colors. So I don't know, there's a few errors in my pattern, and I can't find the correct answer online. If anybody else has the Woodland Faerie pattern, let me know what your what it shows for your symbol in this lady slipper. I don't know. Is that a lady slipper? I keep wanting to call it a pitcher plant, but then it also kind of looks like a lady slipper. And I highly doubt that Teresa Wentzler would put in a carnivorous plant, considering there's a little mouse right there, and pitcher plants can eat mice. So it's probably a lady slipper. I'm gonna call it a lady slipper from now on. But yeah, so that is my progress on it. And okay, let's see. I did not start this one until April 9th. So I didn't start it at the very beginning of April because my mom was here. I didn't start it until after my mom left. So that first week, I worked 3 hours and 52 minutes on it. The second week, week 414 through 420, I didn't touch it at all. So then 421 through 427, that was this past week. I worked on it 9 hours, 8 minutes, and 31 seconds. And then combined with the time from the previous week, I'm now up to 13 hours and 38 seconds on this Teresa Wentzler. So I am going to do all of the stitching first. Then I will probably do the stitching on the skin. Then I will do the back stitching. That is the plan so far. All right, so project number 2 is Pentecost by Practical Blackwork. I got this off of Etsy. This one, I did have a lot of progress I am now over 75% complete, and I'm taking it off so that you can see the whole thing as I show it. Okay. So 75% complete. I finished out that third square. So all of that is done. So then I started doing the outlines on this last bit. I do like having the outlines done first and then filling it in, but for the first square that I started, which would have been this one down here, it was easier to start in the middle and go out and do it. But once this first section was done, I should have done the outlines first and then filled in the areas. I feel like it goes a lot quicker with the outlines done first. So I am almost done with the outlines. I have this bit right here to finish, and then I have, it's these two squares down here, so up here that turns the corner. And then I will probably start working on this outer edging, and then probably this outer diamond and this inner leaf, and then probably this square and this square, and that's probably how I will do it. Okay, hold on a second. The dog wants to come back in. Okay, so okay, so I picked this back up after my mom left. I only worked on it that first week after she left, an hour and 14 minutes. Then the following week, I only worked on it for another hour and 21 minutes. And then this past week, I got to work on it 4 hours, 34 minutes, and 32 seconds. And so that has brought my total project time for this one. And like I said, I started this one last year. I started it, did I write it down? I started it January 9th, 2024. So I am now up to 96 hours, 8 minutes, and 50 seconds on this project. And this is, I forgot to say it at the beginning, this is 18 count fabric that I hand dyed myself. And it's 1/1. Okay. There we go. And project number 3 is, okay, project number 3 is Heaven and Earth Designs. It's called Faerie Risqué, and Amy Brown is the artist. I am doing the no background, and so I hand dyed the fabric to sort of match kind of this grayish swirl. Mine is much lighter. I am doing a blue conversion that I came up with. So the fairy will not be red, she will be in blue. Okay. All right. So I have just been working along this edge. I finished out this section and I moved over to here. There was one day that I actually got like 500 stitches straight on it. And I think that was like probably from like here over that day. But this was my first Heaven and Earth design. This was my first using the parking method. And think this was technically the first one that I hand dyed. Last year, I hand dyed all 4 of my projects. But I think I ended up dyeing this one first because my BFF is also stitching this and she's keeping it in red. And I dyed this fabric for her. This is 22 count and it's a Hardinger. It called for 25 count. And so we were at the store, we started pulling fabric and she's like, this is going to be too small for me. I'm not going to be able to see it. And so we did 22 count. She thought it would be okay. And so we got it. I dyed it. She started working on it. And then she's like, this is too small. I can't. So I had a big enough piece of 18 count that was off that piece of fabric, the last one, the Pentecost, that I hand dyed. So I had enough 18 count to give her that I dyed it. And so that's what she's working on, an 18 count. And mine is 22 count Hardinger. And so for this one, project 3, the first week I got to work on it an hour. And the little bit that I did about 150 stitches, and that put me at 14.75% complete. The next week, I got to work on it 2 hours and 6 minutes. And between the 2 days that I got to work on it, it put me up to 15.18%. And then last week, I got to work on it 2 hours and 53 minutes. And so that day I did get to work 542 stitches on it. And that last day I'm at 11,893 out of 74,797, and I'm at 15.9%. So it looks like at the beginning I was at 14.75, and maybe by the end of this month, we just have a few more days, but by the end of this month, I can get it to 16%. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how much time I get to work on it in these today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So that brings my total time for this project to 121 hours, 48 minutes, and 23 seconds. Okay, and then the last one that I've been working on for the month of April is this is a Plaid Bucilla kit. Donna Dewberry is the designer, and it is called Hummingbird and Floral. The kit is copyright 2002. I did not use the provided fabric. I couldn't tell because of how old this kit was, and I've had it in my possession for so long. Some of them that have rubber bands on them, the rubber bands have disintegrated. And like that one, my Fair piece from last year, there was a yellowish orange mark on the fabric from the rubber band. Now, fortunately, one of these leaves on the left side of the piece covered over where the rubber band mark was. But a lot of my old kits, these Stashbuster pieces, I've been forgetting to tell what the different projects were. I've just been naming them. Project 1 was Favorite Designer. Project 2 is I've been switching back and forth between a Blackwork piece and a sampler piece. Project number 3 is called Wish List, and that's pretty subjective, but for the most part, it's if the site has a wish list feature and I want it, I've been stitching it. And then Project 4 is a Stashbuster piece where things that I've been carrying around forever, I'm finally trying to work on them. So this was a Stashbuster piece, and I have been carrying it around probably since 2002 because I'm pretty sure I bought this when I worked at Michael's. But anyway, it is called Hummingbird and Floral. I did not use the provided kit fabric. It's still here. I purchased some Charles Craft fabric from Michael's that I then hand dyed myself. So here is my latest progress on this piece. And, oh, my needle came off. So, yeah, that's all 4 of my projects this month. 3 of the 4 is a throwback to last year. And because I'm working on another Teresa Wentzler, I just feel like it's last year again. And okay, so the beginning of the month for May starts in the middle of this week, and I am switching over to the projects that I had started in January. So for project 1, I will be pulling out my Bella Filipina, and it is the Daughters of Estuary. And this is Volcano Stitching, Poseidon, 18 count Ada, Opal, and this is where I will be picking it back up. So I do have some of the beading done down here. And down here. But I will be working here up, hopefully finishing out her face. Maybe getting the beading done on that. I'm unsure if I want to finish this mermaid and just finish this mermaid before I move on to the other one, or if I want to, because I'm a middle out stitcher, so I found my middle and then I worked up to this quarter. I don't know if I'm going to go to this quarter, which will then be half, or if I want to do the other mermaid, which will then be half, because it could go either way. So there we are on my Bella Filipina, where I will be picking it up later this week. And I'm kind of excited to be going back to it. It's been a nice little 3-month break from this project, and I kind of really like the way that I've been alternating my projects. Project 2, I will be going back to the Dutch Beauty. I worked on this last month. For project 2, I only have 2 projects that I'm alternating. Just the one Blackwork and just the one sampler. So this is 14 count fabric that I hand dyed. I did a come dye with me video. So if you would like to go back and watch that, you can see what I did to get this dye job. This is where I will be picking it up. I think it will be in this deer. I'm going to hopefully finally get a page finish on this first page. Okay, and then project 3 is this one. Project 3 is Tilting Crafts, and this is called Winter in the Shire. And this one this is on 25 count pre-gridded fabric. And I am doing this one by color completion. So, not that you can tell, but I've got a whole bunch of white here. I didn't really think the whole color completion through before picking this one. And the first color is white. lots and lots of white. Well, it's not white. It's, what is it, 3865, whatever that off-white is. Yeah, so many stitches. Let me see. How many stitches are left? I do have this one in Pattern Keeper, so whenever I work on it, I will be able to give stats on this one. Okay, I have 16,055 stitches left of 3865. Is this still the most? Yeah, this is still the color with the most stitches. So even if I wanted to switch to the next color with the most stitches, it's still this one. The next one with the most stitches has 6,000. So I still have 10,000 stitches to go before I could even think about switching to a different color. so much 3865. And this one, when I left off, I was at 3,427 stitches out of 122,500, and I'm at 2.8%. So this one has a long way to go with white. Okay, and then project 4, Stashbuster, is going to be, oh yes, this is the Candemar Designs. It is called Silent Journey Picture. And the artist is Christian Reese Lassen. This is copyright 1998. And so for this one, I am here. So I'm just trying to work up and fill in this section. I think I might have started stitching this the wrong way on this piece of fabric. So this top might be a little small on my margins, but we'll see. So that's where I am. That's what I'm going to be switching to next week. And that's it. That's all that I've worked on. I was Faerie, and I've been reading. I started reading the Outlander series. I tried watching the TV show a couple years ago, and I didn't like one of the characters, and I thought maybe they were overdoing that particular character's flaw, I should say, for TV, like making it worse than what it was. So I'm trying to read the books and hope that it's not nearly as bad as what it seemed like on the TV show. I have been listening to Legendborn. I've been listening to that on audiobook. I got to return it in 6 days, and then I'm probably going to have to wait until it comes available again because it says there are 9 people waiting. I'm only 29% through it, and I think the only time that I end up listening to that one is while I'm in my car waiting for the kids to get out of school, since that one is a YA book. I feel much more comfortable listening to that when the kids are around. So that's when I've been listening to Legendborn. So I'm going to probably only get a few more chapters in before it has to go back to the library, and then I'm gonna have to wait until it comes available again. What else have I been reading? I don't know, but I am 17 books ahead of schedule for the year. My goal every year when I make my reading goal, I automatically start with 52 books. My goal is to read one book a week. That is always my goal. Most years I fall vastly short. There was one year that I surpassed my goal and then I kept changing what my goal was. And then that year, I think I ended up reading like 72 books. But that's been a while. I haven't read like that in ages. So I have read 33 books out of 52 for the year. I am 17 books ahead of schedule, and I am trying to crush my reading goals this year, as well as continuing to keep up with my cross stitch and anything else that comes up. I did not paint any nails this past week. I did not work on any of my other cross stitch projects. I've just been reading and working on these main books. If anybody has any book recommendations, I am open. I typically read and or listen to fantasy and romance, or I guess they're calling that genre now romantasy. It's weird. It's new. I don't know. I don't know when that term became popular, but most of the books on my shelves are fantasy. I do have a good section of Harlequin romances. My bookshelf is just actually, hold on. There's my bookshelves. So I have I've got a lot of Dean Koontz. I've got a lot of, not as many Stephen King. I find Stephen King harder to read. I feel like he will wax poetic about grass blowing in the wind for 6 pages. I would call his style of writing kind of flowery. I haven't read any Dean Koontz in a while. I haven't purchased any of his books in a while. I'm very behind on the Laurel K. Hamilton series, the Anita Blakes. I'm also behind on the Harry Dresden series. Yeah, I need to update my library. There for a while, I had Kindle Unlimited, and so, I was just reading a bunch of those books, but we got rid of Kindle Unlimited last year, the year before. So I'm just sort of, I have to either purchase the books or my library has to have it available. And I do like generally the selection that my library has, but there are a few that, like I started reading the Fourth Wing books. I read the first 2, and the third book, I am like 794th in line for that one. So that one's going to be a while until I get to it. But I think that's it. That's it on my update. I will see everyone next week and hopefully have some progress on those 4 new projects. Well, not new projects, those 4 projects that I'm switching to for May, the ones that I started this year back in January. I'm back to my January cycle. So I'll see everyone next week.